Move forward from that pain. You need to move forward from that lost child. You need to move forward from XYZ. I don't like that saying because you're never going to forget that pain. What I want you to think about is don't think about moving forward from the pain. You need to start moving from the pain. There is nobody that has the pain that you have. Move from it. I had a coach that changed my life forever, and that was when I was at the University of Minnesota. His name was Todd Oakes, and he was a legacy builder. He was an absolute legacy builder. And I had a conversation with my buddy Ty McDevitt the other day. He's the pitching coach of the University of Minnesota now. And he said, Lance, Todd talked very little, but he said a lot. He talked very little, but he said a lot. And I resonated with that because I remember, being at the University of Minnesota at 18 years old, trying to figure out this thing called life. And Todd was a man. He played with the San Francisco Giants. He coached in that organization for 14 years, and then he coached with the Gophers for 14 years. He was a man's man. The way that he walked, the way that he talked, and his words carried weight because of the way that he lived his life. So when he spoke, we listened. And he wasn't speaking all the time, but he was living his message out. He was living it out every single day. And I know that that's the type of impact that you guys can have by the way that you take care of yourself, by the way that you treat your spouse, by what happens to your children. Take that tough stuff seriously, because when Todd spoke, we listened. And when Todd said something was important to him, he embodied it. When he said family was important, you got family written on your shirt. When he said family was important, his wife was always at the games. His 3 kids were always at the games. When Todd said, I want you to eat healthier, Lance. I want you to do things in a way when you honor your body. Every time I saw Todd on a road trip, he had an apple and a banana. He literally did the things that he wanted us to do. And when he said, you gotta grind, you gotta work, you gotta put that work in, Lance. I remember I was 18 years old. I pitched my first game at University of South Florida, came in with runners on, bam, strikeout. I come out a couple weeks later, we're in the Metrodome now at the University of Minnesota, and then boom, I have my first little injury. I tore my UCL a little bit, and I was gonna be out for, at least that season. I decided to redshirt. And Todd came up to me in the Metrodome. They had a batting cage back there, and they had a sweet little weight room. And he comes up to me, pulls up his orange Home Depot bucket. You know the ones, right? And he pulls it up, he goes, LT, I need to talk to you. It was just me and Todd. And this was a legacy conversation. Because the difference between an inheritance, that's something you leave for somebody. An inheritance you leave for somebody. But a legacy is something you leave within somebody. And Todd left something within me that I carry still today. He came up to me and I was working out and he said, Lance, I need to talk to you. He goes, I got 14 other pitchers to worry about this year and you're not one of them. He said, we're going to Texas, we're going to California, you're going to redshirt. I got to make sure that I take care of these guys on the field. I'm not going to babysit you, Lance. The things that you need to do, it's going to be up to you. You got to get with the trainer. You got to do your workouts. I'm not going to be calling them to check up on you. I got too much other stuff to worry about. And he said this word that he left within me. This was a legacy word. He said, it's you versus you. So when I come up here to speak, when I come to do anything, I don't care who's out here. The first time I spoke, there were 8 kids. Jason Ford invited me out to speak to FCA thing. There were 8 kids there. This year I had the opportunity to speak at University of Pacific, William Jessup, Apache Junction High School. There were thousands. And it's because of the words that he said. I'm not competing with nobody else but myself. I'm training for a half marathon right now. And every single morning that I do that at 5:30 in the morning and I'm running and I want to quit, I hear Todd, it's you versus you, Lance. It's you versus you. So there's going to be some things that you're going to say to these kids that are literally going to walk with them the rest of their life. You have that opportunity to leave an absolute legacy within them. And then when things took a turn with Todd, he started to speak more legacy-breathing words, and he started to use his pain as his superpower. 2015, I got drafted. Seattle Mariners called my name. One of the best days of my life before I had kids and got married. 2 minutes. And man, one of the best things that ever happened to me. But I can remember that Todd left something for me after I got drafted. I came home from the Seattle Mariners, and on my bed, I'm still living with my parents, by the way. I wasn't one of the fat boy. I didn't get the fat check. I got a good check, but not a fat one. And I come home, still living with my parents. On my bed, there's this box, and it says from Todd Oaks to Lance. I'm like, oh, I wonder what this is. Open up the box, and there it was. It was a packet about this big. 4 years of pitcher's notes. Every single outing that Todd was coaching, he wrote what our fastball command was, all this stuff about pitching. But in the bottom right corner, he wrote legacy words. He wrote a word of encouragement to us. He challenged us. He gave us some life advice, or he told us just to keep going. And I had 4 years of them: freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, scrimmage, University of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Texas, UCLA, all of them 4 years. And that's when I knew this man was different. And you can be that difference to your kids. So have a site plan, have a plan of action for your kids, for each individual. Because no matter when I was one of his star closers or I was one of the worst pitchers on the team, he treated me the exact same off the field. So then in 2016, when Todd passed away from cancer, after 3 bouts of leukemia, his words still live in me. And I'll leave you with his final 2 phrases. When he first got cancer, my sophomore year in 2013, he said, "Why not me?" He started this Caring Bridge and he started to write, "Why not me get cancer?" That's what he would tell all the kids. That's what he would tell us players. Why not me get cancer? Why not me be the person that gets through this? So he started to use his pain as a way to speak from. And my last point here is, there's some of you, much like me, an injury ended your career. A dream got broken. You've lost a loved one. You've lost a child. You've had things that have come outside of your grasp that you no longer have anymore. And I implore you to use that pain, to speak from that insecurity to the children, to the people that you have. And that's what Todd showed me, to use the pain. He said, "I have cancer, Lance, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give in or give up." Never give up, never give in. He coined the phrase. And we put t-shirts on and we live that thing. Never give up, never give in. Why not me? Your kid, somebody gets benched, tell them, why not you get benched? We'll see what you're made of. You guys lose your first 3 games? Why not you be the ones that come back and do it? Leave a legacy within people. Nobody has the pain that you have. We could bring in Nick Saban and Bill Belichick in to coach football for Perry or Hamilton. But they would not be able to speak to the players the way that you can speak to the players. Because all of you have some sort of pain that you had to go through that you need to start speaking from. And I don't ever like people, I hate that saying, you need to move forward. I think some of you that have some real pain, deep down in here, you've been asked, you need to move forward from that. You need to move forward from that pain. You need to move forward from that lost child. You need to move forward from XYZ. I don't like that saying, because you're never gonna forget that pain. What I want you to think about is, don't think about moving forward from the pain. You need to start moving from the pain. There is nobody that has the pain that you have. Move from it. Todd got cancer, he moved from that pain. And he said, I'm gonna bleed a legacy, I'm gonna breathe life into them. And I know each and every one of you has something in you that nobody else in this world has. And you can speak from that pain and that insecurity and the thing that hurts to change lives and to transform their hearts. And that's what I challenge you to do. An inheritance you leave for somebody, but a legacy you're going to leave within them. Can y'all do that this year? Let's get it.